It was a raining Monday morning. Kofi sat at his desk scrolling through his phone. The sound of raindrops hitting the window filled his small apartment in the city. His favorite playlist hummed softly in the background, but his mind wasn't at ease. Life had become a cycle of work, eat, sleep, and repeat, with no room for sentimentality. Or that's what he told himself. Suddenly, his phone buzzed, and the name on the screen froze him in his seat. Dad? Kofi stared at it, the memories rushing in like a flood. His father's stern face, their heated arguments, and the last time they spoke 5 years ago. His father had called him ungrateful for leaving the village and choosing to live life on his own terms. Kofi had yelled back, "You don't control me anymore." That was the day he vowed never to look back. The buzzer stopped. The silence in the room felt heavier than the rain outside. Moments later, a notification popped up. Missed call, Dad. Kofi shook his head, coughing. Why now? He muttered to himself. His father had never supported his dreams of moving to the city, never supported his dreams of becoming an artist. Instead, he had pushed Kofi to stay in the village and take over the family farm, a life Kofi despised. As the night went on, Kofi couldn't shake the thought of that missed call. He opened his phone, stared at his father's contact picture, a photo from years ago of his father smiling in front of their old house. It was one of the few times Kofi remembered his father looking genuinely happy. Maybe he wants to apologize, Kofi thought, then quickly dismissed the idea. No, he probably wants to lecture me again. The phone buzzed again. Incoming call, Dad. Kofi's chest tightened. His thumb hovered over the answer button, but his pride kept him frozen. I'm too busy for this, he muttered, letting the call go to voicemail. Days turned into weeks and life moved on. Kofi buried himself in his work, convincing himself he would get done and do the right thing later. If he really cared, he wouldn't have waited 5 years, he told his friends when they asked about the calls. Then one evening, as Kofi was preparing to leave the studio, his phone rang again. This time, it wasn't his father. Kofi, this is Auntie Abba, the familiar voice said, her tone unusually soft. Kofi frowned. Auntie Abba, what's wrong? There was a long pause before she spoke. It's your father. He passed away this morning. The world seemed to lit. Kofi grabbed the edge of his desk, his knuckles turning white. What? How? He was fine. His voice cracked. He's been unwell for months, Kofi. He didn't want to worry you. He always said you were busy building your life, Auntie Abba said. Kofi sank into his chair, his heart pounding. No. The missed calls flashed in his mind like a cruel reminder. 2 days later, Kofi found himself on the bus heading back to the village, a place he had sworn he would never return to. The familiar sight of dusty roads and sprawling fields brought back a wave of memories, but this time, they were tinged with regret. When he arrived at the family home, it was eerily quiet. The house looked smaller than he remembered, the paint peeling and the once vibrant garden overgrown. Inside, the scent of burning incense filled the air. In the corner of the living room, his father's favorite chair sat empty. On the table was a box labeled with his name. Your father left this for you, Auntie Abba said gently. Kofi opened the box. With trembling hands. Inside was a stack of old photos, a collection of letters, and a small casket tape. He picked up a letter on top, addressed to him in his father's handwriting. The letter reads, "My dear son, if you are reading this, I am no longer here. I am sorry for the times I pushed you too hard. I thought I was preparing you for a harsh world, but maybe I was wrong. I only wanted what's best for you. But I see now that I should have let you choose your own path. I called to say I was proud of you, Kofi. I am so proud of you. Proud of the man you have become. I wanted to hear your voice one last time, but it's okay. I will always be with you, my boy. Love, Dad." Kofi's vision blurred as tears streamed down his face. He clutched the letter to his chest, his father's words cutting through the walls of pride he had built for years. He pressed play on the cassette. His father's voice cracked through the speaker. "Kofi, I hope you hear this someday. Remember, my son, pride can keep us apart, but love will always bring us back together. I love you." That night, Kofi sat outside the stars, clutching the letter. The village was quiet, save for the chirping of crickets and the rustling of leaves. For the first time in 10 years, he allowed himself to feel the depth of his grief. "I'm sorry, Dad," he whispered in the night. "I am so sorry." Kofi returned to the city, but he was forever changed. He began reconnecting with his family, reaching out to friends he had drifted from, and even started painting a series inspired by his father's life. Each brushstroke was a tribute, a reminder that love is stronger than pride. In life, we often let misunderstandings and ego build walls between us and those we love. But as Kofi learned, it's never too late to tear them down until it is. Don't let pride keep you from mending broken relationships. One call could change everything.